information regarding physics. I'm not feeling bored discussing physics, guys. Okay? So I have here no problem. We go directly to save time. No more chika-chika, never that much. Okay. Positive 100 microcoulomb charge is placed at the origin A. Okay? Negative 50 microcoulomb charge is placed at X is equal to 2 meter, and positive 200 microcoulomb is placed at X is equal to negative 4 meter. What is the net electric force acting on the positive 100 microcoulomb charge? B. What is the net electric force acting on the positive 200 microcoulomb charge? Actually, this it looks like difficult, okay? But this is just only point charges. So the clue in this problem is you have to use the graph, the x-axis, the y-axis, and you need to be particular for the signs, the rule, positive, negative, like that, okay? And then you have to adopt also the direction where your forces will be, something like that, okay? First thing to do is, what is the net electric force acting on net electric force A, okay? Net electric force is gonna be ganon. Fe net acting on the positive 100 microcoulomb. The microcoulomb is gonna be 100 times 10 to the negative 6 coulomb, okay? Capital C is coulomb, mga palangga. Okay. Letter B, charot. Okay, what is letter V? Okay, it's gonna be, what is the net electric force acting on the positive 200 microcoulomb charge? So letter B, still the same. F, okay, electric net force, okay, at, we need to consider the reference for this, okay? Acting on. If you see the words on, that is our reference, huh? On. See? On. Like that. Always take note of this. In this kind of problem, the word on is very important as your reference. Okay? When the positive 200 microcoulomb, like that. Or it's gonna be 200 times 10 to the negative 6 coulomb. Okay, these are all the required or what are being asked in the problem. Okay, you have to answer A and B. Okay, then we need to encircle the charge. This one, and this one. There are 3 charges here, right? And then we have also the distance here, like this. I have to encircle only because there is no space in the whiteboard. Okay, so it would be difficult for me to write. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Now we do another sketching. Okay, sketching. Okay, or illustrate. Origin. Origin meaning it is the main source. So capital A here, origin, right? Origin. Okay? So, ang origin na charge is negative 50 times 10 to the... Okay, isulat din mo ang origin. Okay, now, here is the x-axis here. Okay, x-axis like that. And you need to point because it's an origin, right? Like that. Origin is positive 100 microcoulomb. It's gonna be here. This one, see? 100 microcoulomb. Okay. This is gonna be 100 times 10 to the negative 6 coulomb. And then this is gonna be, let's say, this is gonna be 0.2 because it's in the center, right? Okay, like that. Now, what's the other one? Negative 50 microcoulomb charge is placed at x is equals to 2 meter. Oh my gosh. Okay? 2 2 meter, it's gonna be on the right side, right? Okay. If you put that in the direction where it is from, or where it is located, then no need to carry the sign, okay? It's understood that it will already follow the direction. Okay? So, like that. Okay, so it's gonna be positive 2 meters, then going to the right. Like this arrow pointing to the right. Okay, something like that. And we have, because guys, this is 100, right? The positive charge, it will be moving away from the center. Okay? If we have an electric field, and then it will move away from the center. That's why it's like positive going to the right. Okay? This is 2 meter, like this. 2 meter. And this is your charge is placed at x equals 2 meter. In this kind of problem, you need to assume letters because it's not mentioned whether it is point B, point C, point D, point A. What we are showing here is that our point in the origin is capital A. So let's say we're gonna be having B, okay, here, okay. We need to be consistent because we have the letters A, B, and then point 3. Okay, it's gonna be like that. So at point 3, that is a positive, something like that. Okay. Ganon siya. So, positive 200. Okay. Positive 200 times 10 to the negative 6 column. Ganon. Okay. Now, okay. Positive 200 microcolumn, okay, 10 to the negative 6 na siya, is placed at x to negative 4. Really? Okay. So, na napunta another degree. Oh, negative English yan. Oh, negative 50 micrometer, charge is placed at x2 meter. So, be careful also. Okay? Oh my gosh, what's happening? Okay? Take note the phrasing of the sentence, huh? Okay, negative 50 times 10 to the negative 6 column. Now here, and, okay, and meaning conjunction, and plus 200 micrometer is placed at negative 4. Okay, so at meaning it is a location, preposition, right? So positive 200 here is gonna be, let's say this is point C. And then, since we have already 2 and 3, we need to let this as 1, of course. Okay, so what is that? Okay, this is 200 positive, right? 200 micro column, then it's gonna be times 10 to the negative 6 directly. Okay, we automatically convert that to columns so that we can erase the prefix micro. Okay, it's gonna be like that. And then place at x is equals to negative 4 meters. It's in the left. Okay, it's in the left. So the negative here is only pointing the direction. Okay, we don't need to carry the negative, you know, in your actual formula and equation. It's only the direction where to put. Okay, like that's a 4 meter. Ganon. Okay. Now let's go to the principle of charges. Okay, if it is positive, what will be happening? Okay, positive. This is positive C and positive. Okay, what did Benjamin Franklin told us? Benjamin Franklin is a scientist, okay, in 17th century, 1706 to 1790. He's the scientist tells that the same charges repel, okay, and opposite charges attract, something like that. You get the point? And this is in the principle of, you know, magnetism, something like that. Okay, not only that, but also the, for example, in terms of printing, okay, printing machine, something like that, or should we say a balloon. For example, a balloon will catch your hair. Your hair has an electric charge, something like that. And then if the balloon will in contact your hair, it will rub your hair, and then your hair will become positively charged, and the balloon will be negatively charged. That's why it creates an attractive force. Attractive meaning they are interacting with each other to produce a current or electric charge. Okay. Now, for example, this is my hair, right? I have so many hair. I cannot count my hair. Okay, and there's a balloon in the other side, there's a balloon on the other side. Let's say it contact my hair, okay? So it creates an electric charge because our hair has a normal charge, electric charge. Okay, something like that, positive, negative ang balloon, something like that. And the other one also in the left, I have also the balloon here, like that. Now, the balloon will move away with each other because they are negatively charged particles. They will repel. Okay? The balloon in my head, they will repel and go away. Something like that. Get the point? Because our hair is our main charge. Electric charge. Something like that. Get the point? Not only that, so many things. When you rub the stove, it will create a fire. Something like that because of too much, electrical charges after the rubbing of two stones, rubbing of two metals, something like that will create, and then too much friction, something like that. Okay, it's gonna be like that also. Okay, that's only basic example. Okay, mga palangak. So, who is the scientist contribution to that? It's Benjamin Franklin in 1706 to 1790. Ganon. So, mapasalamat ka na Benjamin Franklin. Ganon. Okay. So, now go back to here. So, positive, di ba? Repel. See? Positive, 100 times negative 6. Ang exponent, this is perfect only. The magnitude only what we mean here. Meaning the digit or the value or the number. Okay, so positive, so it will repel. So actually it will go in here like that, and here like that. So since you are telling that it's on, di ba? On, on 100. Okay, it's gonna be F2, okay, F2 from 1. The movement of your force here. Okay? Because this is on from A origin, you don't have to consider the one who is repelling to the left. There's no purpose anymore there because you are referring to on the 100 microcoulomb, which is in the center. So you are only interested to F21 electric force. Ganon. And now the second will be, so we have the on 100, right? And we have the 3. It's gonna be, so they are negative, right? With each other, negative and positive. Meaning to say, they will interact or, attract with each other. It's gonna be like this, going to the right and going to the left. So it's gonna be F23. Okay? Because from 2 to 3, like that. Okay? So in this case, the first number will be your first subscript because it is on. Meaning it is reference. Okay? On. Say on. Since it is in 2, is it F2. Ganon. Then from 1. Okay. Here also 2, 3. Then it's on the center. So again, F2 going to 3. F2, 3. Ganon. Diba? Ganon na mangyayari. Okay? You get the point mga kalagak that F2 going to 3. Ganon. Okay? So going to 2 to 3. So sa tupa, dili ay mga palangak kung hitan. F2 going to 3, so this is going to be a positive. Right? And also, F2 going to 1. F2 going to 1, it's repelling going to 2, this is going to be positive. Right? Ganon. So the question is asking for a net force. Okay? How can you do that? Okay, since they are going to the right all, you will say F net. Okay, ako nang papasok guys because wala na siya space. In fairness. Okay, I need to erase that because it's already illustrated, right? Okay, I will erase the problems that I can solve well. Okay. Any questions so far? Physics students, any questions so far? Any objection? Nothing, right? Okay, so go back. So how can we do this? Okay, it's gonna be F net is equal to this one. Positive is going to the right, so F21. So F21, and then the other one is going also to the right. So plus F23. Okay? Okay, you don't have to say F32. F23 talaga siya. Because if it's nothing to do with, because it's on. The word on is very important. Okay? Ganon. Okay, this is equation 1. Now, solve individually your electric force in F21. How can you do that? Okay, F21 is equals to the Coulomb's law constant K, okay, times, okay, take note, because you are F21, take note the charge of 2, the Q2, ganon. Okay, and 1, Q1, follow the subscript. Okay, Q2, Q1, so that pasok sa banga. Okay, then R squared. Now substitute or plug in values based on your illustration and sketch here. Right? It's very clear. And then our constant here, K, is our Coulomb's constant, our electric force constant, right? So it's gonna be 8.99 times 10 to the 9, then ganoon, Newton meter squared, Coulomb squared. Okay. Then multiply to Q2. What is your Q2? 100 times 10 to the negative 6. Okay, every time you write, you have to be extra careful with the sign because you will be wrong. Okay, Q1, it's here. 200 times 10 to the negative 6. Ganon. Okay. And this is column squared cancel. Okay, then over, what is your radius or your distance? By the way, the argument is distance, not radius, huh? Okay, we have 4 from point 1 to point 2. Now, 4 raised to the power 2. And this is meter. Okay, meter raised to the power 2, this is meter squared, cancel also in the numerator and in the denominator. So what's left is capital N, which stands for Newton, the unit of force. Okay, we have now F21. Ganon. Calculator, please. Okay, any questions so far? Wala na. I'm doing the overtime discussion, right? Okay. 200 exponent to the negative 6. Every time you press the calculator, you should also be careful. Okay, times 100 exponent to the negative 6 equals, okay, times 8.99 exponent to the 9 is equal, and then divided by 16, because 4 raised to the power 2 is 16, right? It's going to be 12.84. Ganon. So 12.84 Newton. Okay, Newtons. Okay, so the F23 also. Ganon. Okay, F23. Follow the subscript. K. Okay, the Coulomb's law constant. Actually, this topic base is more on Coulomb's law equation. Okay, get the point. And then tantamount to electrostatic force theory, and then electric force also. Okay, they are, they are one. Okay, all you have to do is to analyze that they are the same, something like that. So for F23, so K, the same formula to be used. Instead of 2, you have Q3. Instead of Q1, you have Q2. Okay, 3. Q2, Q3. Okay, so 8.99 times 10 to... I don't have to carry the sign already, or the units already, because I already illustrated how to cancel the same principle. Okay, so we have Q2, ganon. So 100 times 10 to negative 6 is Q2, right? And then Q1, not Q1 here, Q3. Okay, Q3 is, guys, in here, you don't need to carry the sign, because the purpose only also is to determine whether it repel, it attract, something like that, according to the law of Benjamin Franklin. Okay, the law of magnetism, the law of polarity, like that, and the law of repulsive, repulsive and attracting force. Repulsive meaning they are moving away, and then if it's attractive, they are interacting with each other, okay, and attracting to each other, okay, like that. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, no need to carry the sign. Okay, because the purpose only is to let the direction where it goes, something like that. Get the point. In this topic only, have be careful also, because other topics, the negative and the positive sign is very, important in substituting the equation. But here, it's not relevant only in the illustration, where to go your forces, electric forces, your electric field, like that. Okay, to the point. Ganon. Okay, now we have Q3. Q3, how much? So, 50 times 10 to the negative 6, ganon. Over radius. Not radius, distance again. Because they put R instead of D. No problem. Okay, so R raised to the power 2, so 2 raised to the power 2. How much is this? Okay. Okay, mga palangga akong hitag. Mukhaon sa itlog. Charot! Okay, like this. So 50 exponent to the negative 6 is equal to times 100 exponent to the negative 6 is equals to times 8.99 exponent to the 9, right? Really? Yeah. Okay, divided by 4. So it's gonna be 11.24. Okay, again, review. 8.99 exponent to the 9, okay, times 100 exponent to the negative 6 is equals to times 50 exponent to the negative 6 is equals to divided by, this is 4, right? Ganon. 11.24. 11.24 Newton. Okay, so take note. F23, 11.24, and F21 is 12.84. Now we check the first one, okay, to make it sure so that it will become perfect. Okay, 200 exponent to the negative 6 times 100 exponent to the negative 6 is equal to times 8.99 exponent to the 9 is equal to divided by 16, right? Okay. 11.24. Okay, it happens, guys, that you have the same value. Okay, so now, if 2 1 plus if 2 3, if you are mistake the sign because you need to carry that in your in your equation, then it will become 0. Okay, be careful because it happens here. It's a coincidence that you have the same value if you're F23 and F21. And then, for example, if this is really a board examination, it's also in the choice, the 0, A, 0, B, like this. And then you will tend to answer 0 because somewhere along the way of your direction in F23, maybe negative, something like that. So problem. Actually, you have to add F21 plus F23, meaning 11.24 plus 11.24. F21, 11.24, okay, plus 11.24. Because they have the same value, so if the other one is negative, it's 0. So it's very tempting, okay? You got the point, like that. So 11.24. So your net force will be 22.48 newtons. Okay, the answer will be 48 newtons in your A. Okay. So what about your letter B? We have answered this already, letter A, right? The F net at or on 100 microcoulomb is equal to 22.48 Newton. How about the letter B? Okay. How can we understand or how can we comprehend for this or analyze for this? Let's erase again because I have a limited space of my white magnetic board. Okay. Now, so we need to illustrate the same sketch, but it will be the same now because that is F net on 200 micros. On, your reference now is already 200. This one, letter C. So it will vary. right? Because the reference is no longer the same. Get the point? Something like that. Okay, if it is your reference here, how can we do this here? So you said repel, right? So you take the other who repel to the left because you are now on C. It's gonna be F1, 2. Ganon. Right? Because the subscript 1 will be the on. Okay? From 2. So F1, 2. Okay? If you cannot analyze the subscript problem, okay? So now we have here the 3 on to the C, and you have to escape the middle because it's not already in the middle on for 100, it's 200. So you will take the distance from here to here from point B to point A. So this is your total distance from the origin A. So how much is your distance? Okay, this is 2 meter plus 4 meter is equals to 6. Okay, so this is your R, 6 meter. Okay, 6 meter. And now for F12, your R is simply 4. Okay, here, this is R12. Oh, ganon. So it's gonna be here also F13. So it's gonna be R13 distance 6 meter. Ganon. So take note with the subscript, the 1 here is the on. Okay, the 2 is the on. Okay, and the other one subscript will be the from, something like that. Okay, be careful with what do you call this one? Preposition, where it is being located, something like situated from the points, okay, of consideration. Yan. Okay, F12 is equals to the K, okay, the Coulomb's law constant times again 1, so Q1, 2, Q2, okay, R12, so R12 raised to the power 2, then substitute values, okay, K is 8.99 times 10 to the 9, then Q1, what is your Q1 mga palanggaw? It's there, 200 times 10 to the negative 6, okay, ganon. Q2, 100, ganon. So 100, okay, times 10 to the negative 6. And then R12, which is 4. Ganon. So 4 raised to the power 2. Then what is the answer? Okay. It's going to be like 200 exponent to the negative 6 times 100 exponent to the negative 6 is equals to times 8.99 exponent to the 9 is equals to divided by 16. So we have 11.24 chupa chuchu. Okay, what will be happening in your direction now? 11.24. Guys, okay, take away, it's repeating going to the point here, so it's gonna be negative. Okay, here. See? Negative is going there. Okay, you're gonna say this one. Okay, the other one. Okay, what is the other one? That is F13. So like Kenya, same story, 8.99 times 10 to the 9. And then Q1. Okay, Q1 mga palangga. So 200 times 10 to the negative 6. Then Q3 because 1, 3. So Q3 is 50 times 10 to the negative 6. Don't carry the sign as I told you. Okay, then R13. What is your R13? Okay, it's gonna be 4 plus 2, which is 6 meters. So 6 raised to the power 2. Ganon ang if13 mo mga palangga kumitan. Okay, you get the point? Anak siya. Okay, you get the point? Then it's gonna be F13. So F13. Okay, so meaning to say positive. Okay, ganon. Okay, so pila na siya. Okay, 8.99 exponent to the 9 times 200 exponent to the negative 6 times 50 exponent to the negative 6 is equal to divided by 36. How much? 2.50 Newton. So 2.50 Newton. Why very small? Then F12, take note. F12, okay, is very high. Because guys, the electric force is inversely proportional with the radius. If the radius is so high, F13, 6 meter, obviously your force will be lesser in F13 compared to your F12. F12 is 4 meter only, so obviously your electric force will be higher. Again, I will say, electric force is inversely proportional to the distance. Okay, if your distance is very high, then your electric force will be lesser. Okay, it's gonna be electric force is less than D. Ganon. And then if your distance is very small, then obviously, okay, it will have a very big electric force. Ganon. So electric force is higher than D. Okay, if your the distance. Okay, makalibog kayo ang mga literaries no sa diameter, D is distance. Okay, get the point. Okay, mo na siya hitabo mataas imong F12 compare to 2.50 Newton of your F13. Ganon. Okay, so how can you do this for this situation? Charot. Okay, so ano na yun? Okay, so papasok na mo, mapalaga akong hitad. Take note guys, it is negative, right? Negative is pointing, going to here. So it's gonna be like that. Okay, tadadat. Oh, ganon. So what is that? It is negative and plus. Okay, so F13, F12, okay, kaya naman siya, negative, positive man siya, diba? So, negative, then plus F13. Okay? So, pila man yung F12? This is 11.24. Okay? Then plus F13, pila man siya? 2.50. So, your answer will be negative. Okay, why negative? Because it will carry the negative, which is higher electric force. Okay, higher man yung electric force, then of course, higher po ang imong values imong F13. Okay, sa data point. Okay, ang net force nimo sa 200. Okay, so 11.24 minus 2.50 is equals to 8.74. 8.74 ang imong kuan Newton. Okay, this is your electric force net at 200. Okay, it's here. Okay, and then it will take the sign of negative because it will be able to going there, right? Get the point? Ana man na siya guys sa negative. Okay? Ano na siya no? Negative, positive, ganon. Okay? So F13. You got the point mga palangga akong hitad? Okay. It's gonna be like that. Negative diya siya ko. Okay? So anak siya. Since gamay man yung value sa negative, kaya 50 naman siya. Okay, so dominate ang 200. Okay? If 200 ang charge, then yung force tako po siya kaya ano man siya force is equals to K Q1 Q2 over R squared. Meaning to say, if your electric force is higher, your charge also is higher. In here, 200, right? And then, of course, your net also will be higher. Okay, which is 8.74, this is 11.24, right? Expected that he will carry the sign of negative because it's B. Oh, ganon. Any questions so far? Okay, so in this part of letter B, it's very, very complicated. Maybe the analysis will wrong sometimes. It's gonna be the negative and the positive, okay? Most of the times. But you should analyze, yes, it's going to be here. See? Repel man siya. You get the point? Anak siya. Repel ba actually dito sa kuan? So it's gonna be negative. Okay? Anak siya. You get the point? Mga palangga ang hitad. Okay. Any questions so far? Ganon? Nothing, right? Okay? Here, the direction is very important. This has a attractive and repulsive forces. Okay, any questions so far for this? Nothing, right? Okay, thank you so much for watching. I think this will not come out in the board examination because it needs a lot of effort to analyze component to component like that. I don't remember this kind of problems came up in the board examination. Okay? Really. It doesn't use integral calculus, differential calculus, but the way it is being managed is so tasky. Okay? Like that. Okay, thank you so much for watching this electric force at point charges. I'll be able to example number 2 later on. Bye-bye. And I hope that you will like it and you can share it to your friends, neighbors, sons and daughters as a guide how to solve this particular topic. Okay, electric force or electrostatic force at point charges, something like that. Okay, then you can subscribe my YT channel if you really wanted to, and I'll be happy for that. And then you can click notification bell for some news updates that I am a singer, eternal voice. Okay, remember that God loves us, you and me, wherever we are. Thank you so much. God bless everybody. Bye-bye. Nakakalo.